If you've been here very long, you know that Rick Lean is one of our foundational mentors. And he would take me aside and talk to me about things. And one of the things he started doing is, you've been talking about health for a long time. Why don't you try talking about something else? And then I start talking about more encouragement and motivational, et cetera, type ideas. And I was thinking of Rick last night when I started preparing my speech, because who would start preparing their speech sooner than 12 hours before they're going to give it? And I had the idea, there is an area in which I am very foreign and it is treacherous for me. And we're going to go into that area today. It's called sports. I've never been an athlete. I love sports because they're doing all their things and I'll watch it for 15 seconds and I've had enough. So I'm going to talk a little about sports, especially something that is near and dear to our brother Rick's heart, golf. I'm going to talk about some history of golf, presence with golf, and the future with golf, at least as it concerns me. Growing up on the farm, on the dairy farm, dairy farmers don't work overtime. They work all the time. I didn't have much time and I was never an athlete, so I never really got into sports very much, but I did learn this. There are 3 different games that involve a white ball. In one game, there's a net in the middle and a group of folks on each side, and they bat this thing back and forth, and the thing is to keep it up in the air. As I would watch people do that, it seemed like that took considerable skill. That looked like a lot of fun. Then there's another game where it's out in the open and they got this cockeyed square and somebody's standing at the corner of that square. Somebody else throws a little white ball at him and he tries to smack that thing as far as he can. A whole bunch of other people got to chase after that ball for him. You got to catch it and throw it back to one of the corners of the square. That also seemed to take a considerable amount of skill. Then there's this third game. What they do is they put this stupid little ball on the ground and they hit it. And they hit it as far as they can. And it goes to this patch of really fancy flat grass. And all they got to do is knock it in the hole. Just didn't seem to take much skill. It's called golf. I graduated high school and my friend Jeff said, let's go golfing. I said, never been golfing. That sounds fun. Doesn't look very hard. We go there. He brought me some clubs and I watched Jeff and he put that baby down and he practiced. He went like this and wham! That thing just sailed. I had been watching Jeff carefully, so I put the ball on the ground and I stand there like this and I whoosh. And he tried not to laugh, but he said, you missed. So after 3 such tries, he was doubled over in laughter. So he tried to give me a couple of clues on how to do this. And I followed his advice carefully. Smack. Wow, I must have hit that really far. He says, it's on the ground 30 feet in front of you. He was laughing a lot, but I'm telling you, it didn't take long for Jeff's laughter to cease, because that patch of grass over there with the little hole is a long ways away when you're hitting it 30 feet at a time. After I don't know how many hours of this, we come to a spot that is clearly kind of an ending, and he said something of dread. He said, there's another 9 holes. And I said, I don't feel very good. I need to go home now. And thankfully he agreed. That was my history of golf. Clearly, this is something I won't be doing ever again. Let's fast forward a few decades. My wife and I are celebrating a wedding anniversary. It's her turn to plan the secret date. We get in the car. She says, drive this way. And we go out in the country a little bit and we pull into this place with the building. And she says, we're going to have a golf lesson. I've always wanted to play golf. And I said, I love my wife. I'm looking forward to this. No small amount of attitude adjustment involved. We go over there and here's Tom and he's got a bunch of balls and he's got clubs and he says, okay, here's how we're just going to work on the stance. And we work on the stance. Now you're going to hold your feet like this. You turn your toes in and then you bend your knees and blah, 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 blah. And then he says, okay, would you like to take a swing? And at that moment, it was good that I'm a nonviolent person because I did want to take a swing, but not at a ball. God bless him. Tom comes over and he says, let's do it in stages. And you know what he did? He's a good coach. He told me about the stance and this is how it is. Now loosen it up. Okay, now hold like this. And he took it in steps. And then I try to swing and he'd try not to laugh. And then we kept this up. And after about 30 minutes, my wife's athletic. She got this within the first 5 minutes. And I'm 30 minutes later, I hit that ball and that thing, for the first time in decades, that thing went about 50 feet. It was simply amazing. He says, now tweak this with your swing. And it went even further. I couldn't believe it. Maybe there's a chance with this thing called golf. Thing is, I really love my wife and I love the idea of spending time with her. Well, there were only two things that kept us from playing golf: time and money. Other than that, it would have been fine. That was the present time of golf. Let's talk a little about the future. When the stupid virus came and we couldn't be around anybody, we found that we could be outside, and we found this thing called disc golf. You got these little fancy schmancy frisbees, and they claim that they'll throw differently, right? Like this one will go further and this one will go shorter. Okay, whatever. Anyway, you take this thing, throw that baby as far as you can, and there it is on the ground. It's similar to regular golf for me, but with a little bit of time, we started to dial in on that. The point is, it was wonderful time together outside in nature. I gotta tell you, I would love the idea of being good at golf because I now realize it actually takes incredible skill and being able to get out on the course. And it's beautiful scenery, and maybe we'll do it with other people. I would like to be able to do golf. I do got to warn you though. Let's go back to Rick. I don't think I'll ever have the courage to golf with Rick because he's pretty good. And besides, he told us once in this meeting that he will steal his partner's ball. I don't think so.